Hello, everybody. I am so excited to come back to you with another 17 Hats member, another 17 Hats ambassador to talk about the last 10 years of 17 Hats and the last 10 years of her business. For if you don't know me, I'm Amanda Ray, 17 Hats CEO, and today I am joined by Sharone Reid. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
As 17 Hats turns 10 years old, we really just wanted to dive into some stories from our members and share their wisdom and
Yeah.
advice in their journey with you all, because there is no silver key in business, and business doesn't just happen in the first year or the second year. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of decisions. It's a lot of grit. It's a lot of positivity and optimism and all the things that keep you moving and grooving. And that's exactly why I brought Sharone here to chat with all of us so she can share her last 10 years as well with you all. And hopefully you can be inspired. So, again, thank you so much for being with us. Before we get started, can you dive in and tell us a little bit about you, who you are, where you're from, what your profession is?
Okay. My name is Sharone Reid. I live in Richmond, Virginia. I own Focus and Fabulous Events. We are a photo booth rental company, and we service the Richmond, Washington, D.C. area. I've been in business since 2013. And so we're celebrating our 11th year, but I've been with you guys the entire time. I'm one of the founding members of 17 Hats. And throughout my journey in photo boothing, we have grown immensely. We do mostly corporate events. So we'll do trade shows, and for sporting events, we do fan experiences. We still do weddings and other kind of social events like galas and fundraisers and things like that. So we keep a pretty active roster of clientele, and we service, areas that are about 2 hours away. So we have a team of people in DC and a team of people down in Richmond. And so we're always really, really busy.
That's amazing. So, I mean, you're servicing a good amount of people. You're doing great things. So, tell me about how your business got started. So, you've said you've been in business for 11 years now.
Yeah.
We have 17 Hats is 10, obviously. So, you were 1 year into business before finding 17 Hats. So, tell me a
Yes.
little bit about that first year and how your business got started.
So I went to a inauguration party, and there was a photo booth, and I thought, oh my God, this is so amazing. And everybody was having such a good time, and we kept coming back until the line got way too long, and I was like, I'm not standing in that line. But
I
the
love
photo booth
that.
was interesting. It was a green screen where you could take a picture with at this particular
Yeah.
inauguration, it was President Obama and
Great.
Biden. So I took a picture
Yeah.
with President Obama, and I'm waving, and it looks like he's waving with me, and I was like, this is such a cool
Do you still
experience.
have that picture?
I do. So
That's so funny. I love that.
my very first photo booth picture. And I remember following that company and talking with the owner
Yeah.
that night. And he was like, I needed something to do to bring my family together. So they started the business as a hobby, and it ended up becoming a family business, and their son worked
I
for
love
them.
that.
And I was like, oh, that's so cool. So later on that year, unfortunately, my aunt passed away
Mm.
suddenly, and she left me her retirement. And I said, well,
Wow.
what would she want me to do with this? So I paid off all my bills, and I bought my first photo booth. And
What a
that's how I
wait,
got
hold on real
started.
quick. Like, what a blessing that was from your
Yeah.
aunt.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
wow. That's like a little angel fund happening right there.
Yep.
Um,
And I had gotten laid off. I had gotten laid off in, she passed in November. I got laid off in December. And so
wow.
just my whole life changed in that short year. And so I started my business. I didn't have any photography skills. I came from hospitality, so I did have hospitality and
Hospitality
event
skills.
skills.
Which is so
Um,
important,
it
right?
is.
Like, more important than the photography skills, honestly.
And I met a guy that did rentals and DJing, and I asked him, did he know about photo booths? And he said, I do. I don't have the capital to buy into it, but I could help you. And so he helped me buy my first photo booth and learn the software and how to put it together, and even introduced me to other event companies that booked me because they didn't have photo booths. So I just spent my first year white labeling other companies' events.
That is so cool. I mean, all of this really just fell in place for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like when you talk
Yeah.
about like trusting the universe and all of that type stuff, like this just really all fell in place.
It did. It did. And I
That
just
is really
thought,
cool.
I always wanted a business where people would line up and walk away with a smile. And I get that with photo boothing.
I love that. Walk away with a smile. What a great tagline too. I don't know if you use that as a tagline or a social media campaign or something, but that's like a great, you
Yeah.
know.
Our focus is to make your events fabulous as our tagline, but I do
Yeah.
like the walking away with a smile because that's what we
Yeah.
do. We get paid to party. I get paid to make people smile. Like I feel like I'm a professional smile maker.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
such great branding too. Like we're not going to get in depth and talk about branding, but so much of what we kind of talk about on my podcast, on Hats Off podcast, as well as 17 Hats, is that your business is so much more than just what you do,
Hmm.
right? It's not just about photo booth, but it is about the
How you make
energy that
people
you
feel.
bring. Yeah, the energy people bring, how you make people feel, like all of that plays so much into
Yeah.
success of your business. So
Yeah.
I love that you touched on that a little bit. So let's go into that like first year of business. With 17 hats, it's all about organization and automation and systemization and just like getting your ducks in a row and just staying organized and not losing your shit when
Yeah.
everything goes crazy. So let's talk about that first year 17 without
Yeah.
17 hats, and then why you started looking for something like 17 hats. Yeah. What was that like for you?
It was all over the place. It was me running my business through spreadsheets, emails. I was using PayPal to
Oh,
process.
wow. Yeah.
So, you can go there and see your customers there.
Sure.
And then I would take the name and then go search in my email to find out what we talked about. And,
Oh,
just trying not to forget anything.
yeah.
And then as far as like invoicing, it just didn't look, it was, Word and Excel, and it just didn't look professional. And
Sure.
it definitely didn't feel professional. And it was starting because I was getting big at that time,
Yeah.
because there were no photo booths in my area. I
I
was
was
one of the first photo booths in my area.
Yeah, you really came in at the prime time for photo booths too. Like that was really before they got super popular.
So if there was somebody having an event and there was a photo booth need, it was me, or I knew the
Amazing.
other person. It wasn't many
Mhm.
of us doing it. So it was growing. And so as the years have grown on, there's more need in different types of events. But at that time, I was just getting really nervous. So I reached out to a friend, and she was like, well, this is one company, but you're not tech savvy, so I don't think you'll like it. And I
Yeah.
was like, what does that mean? And then she said, well, there's this new company I've heard of in 17 Hats. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. And so she sent it to me, and I immediately fell in love. It was
Amazing.
super easy just to take what I was doing and put it into the system. Now, I'm not gonna say it was easy, uh, because once you get in there, this is what we always tell people when they're like,
Uh-huh.
we ask, do they have a CRM or whatever, and I was like, once you're in, because you
You're
don't
in.
want to do that process
That's
over.
right.
But you made it easy for me to do the process because you
Good.
had templates, and you laid out like
Yeah.
the business. This is what you should have, and then all I had to do was go find it and put it in there.
Yeah.
But it does take time to really make it your own,
It
and
does.
what you want it to be and what you want
Yep.
to use it for. And I've grown with you, and I've seen so many different things, and then you guys listen. And when you say, hey, does it do this? No, but maybe down the line it will, and it does.
That's amazing.
So yes, we have seen so many different changes, but all for the good and all for making our business thrive. And then and you don't have to use everything. Like, I
Yeah.
know I don't use everything. I
Yep.
wish I knew how to use everything, and I'm
Yep.
going to get there. But you can take your time and do it the way you want to do it,
Yeah.
and you can come back, and the things are already there and in place for you to do it.
I love that. You know, a part of what 17 Hats when we very first started. So I joined the company. My husband started the company, 10 years ago. I joined in like 2017. And so when I came in and through my journey, I've still kind of very much so remained true to his original vision, which was, let's make it as easy as possible. We're not going to say it's going to be easy because you know, owning a business, running a business, you have to learn process and you have to set
Yeah,
up process. And that's a whole another world for some
yeah,
people, especially if you're not process minded. But learning process and understanding process also comes with experience. If you've never done anything, if you never provided, you you haven't even like tiptoed on the ground yet to figure out what your process is. And so I love that you mentioned how, yeah, it is easy, but you do have to learn and you do have to figure it out and you do have to set up because that is a part of it. We don't want to push you down like one line and say, this is how you run a business. This is the only way that you run a business, right?
right,
We
right.
want you to be able to set it up. What is best for you and your process and your experience and your journey? But that does come with experiencing it a little
Yeah.
bit. For you, let's talk a little bit about process here. How long was it for you to like really go, man, I have my process nailed down?
Still working on it.
I know. It's like
It never
it
ends.
never
No,
ends.
no, because like you said, you get thrown into new positions and
Mhm.
new asks from
Yep.
your clientele, and so now you have to do something a little different.
Yeah.
Before it was a lot of small social events. People wanted to pay you the day of, and or
Mhm.
cash or with a check, or it was they didn't have a lot of need when it came to like graphics, and
Yeah.
definitely didn't have a purchase order or have to wait on this and that. Like it was just different. And so
Uh-huh.
as your clientele grows and they ask different things of you, you're able to provide that in one place, and you can set it up to be like, well, this is how we deal with corporate clients, and this is how we
Yeah.
deal with social clients, and this is how we deal with birthdays, and this is how we deal with weddings. And then you can use those processes over and over, and then it's easier to teach. So when I bring in assistants when it
Yeah.
gets to be a busy season, I just have to show them one time, and it's there. Or they don't sit and have to create emails. The emails are there. They don't have to sit
Love
up and
that.
create a invoice for me. It's there. It's already been sent out. So
Yeah.
it's just a lot of things that it saves me time, and it's a great value to the business. But it keeps everything in one place, and me to be able to, at a click of a button, look and see how my business is doing is amazing. It's my dashboard. It's my
I
it's
love
my
that.
works. It was my workspace. So in the
Yeah.
morning, one of the first things I do is go to 17 Hats. You can see your to-do list. You can see your calendar.
I
You know
love that.
what's up. One of my favorite tabs is documents.
Oh, yeah, that's a good tab.
You got your invoices, you got your quotes, and
Yeah.
that's my day. So I got to go get some money and I got to go make some money. So that's what I do
That's
all day.
amazing. I love that. That's definitely a good tab because you can see right there how much money you're making, and that
Mhm.
tells you a lot and it gets you
It
excited.
does. I'm like, they didn't pay yet? Oh, that can't be right.
Have you started to dive into our new pipelines feature yet?
No, I've been waiting for tomorrow's class.
Yeah,
I've looked
so
at it. Right now we
mhm.
were doing just starting to do project management,
Yeah,
and then when this popped up, I was like, oh, thank you.
it's
So
going to
now we
be
can bridge the
fun.
two together, because I kind of hate going to different systems because you end up
Correct.
repeating. And then
Yes.
somebody's gonna miss. Something's gonna be missed. Or, oh, well, I thought I put it in 17s. Oh no, I put it over here. I
Yep.
don't like that. I like when everything is
All
together.
together. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm super stoked. We just launched our new pipeline feature. And when it comes to workflows and automation and being able to see where your project is in the whole client experience,
Mhm.
I thought about it because one of our beta testers was like, it's now my new dashboard. Like it's the first place I go, right? Is
Yes.
now to pipelines. And then from there, I can see like if somebody paid a quote or if they didn't pay a quote and push them through the pipelines even more. But that's why I thought about it. I think you're gonna love that feature once you get that set up.
Because I've tried others, but the main problem is it wasn't in 17 hats. And so just being able to look at it somewhere else, cool. but I'm working in 17 hats.
Yeah.
And so now being able to put them together is going to be so
Yeah.
much more
I
time
love that.
saving, and it's going to be it looks visually appealing. I'm loving the
Oh,
colors, and
good.
17 hats has always been visually appealing to me, but I just the
Yeah.
pipeline look is looking really cute and amazing. So I'm excited.
Amazing. I love that. Yeah. When we started building, we wanted to build everything custom. We didn't want to use anything template because we wanted to have full control over everything to give
Yeah.
like you guys the best experience possible. So I love that this is a whole new big feature that's coming in. Um, gosh, I'm excited for you to use it just listening to kind of what we're chatting about right now.
Yes, I think it's going to be amazing.
What is so you said you like documents a lot. What is another? Is there any other feature inside 17 apps that you really like?
Bookkeeping.
Really?
I am a horrible bookkeeper. I found that out in my first year. 17 hats makes me so much better. And in the beginning, I wasn't using it to its fullest. I
Sure.
did not attach my bank and my credit cards to it.
Sure.
Once I did that, I was like, what did I wait for? Oh my goodness. It's amazing. So now I can really look at my business. And before I'm just
Yeah.
looking at my sales.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at my business.
Because you can do your expenses, your transaction categories. I mean, there's several different reports that
Yeah.
we have back there, which can be a game changer. But what I love about this too is that you're very candid with, I wasn't using it to its fullest. It took me a little bit of time. And I have to say, that's a-okay. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way that you can get in and start using all of its features, everything that it can do to its
Yeah.
fullest. It's only something that time will provide.
It's trust. Before I used to teach too, and
Mhm.
it was one of those things. When I started teaching, teachers were just getting laptops, and so you had those teachers that were still doing their grade book on paper,
On paper.
and then they turn around and type it into the computer instead of just doing it on the
Yep.
computer. That's me.
I
So
was
I'm
one of
going to keep
those.
doing it by
When
hand and doing it the long way, and then do
Mhm.
it in the system, and then see if it's the same, and like, okay, it's the same, and still keep doing it instead of just going straight to the computer.
That's really funny because when I taught, I was that person. I thought that having a grade book, right? Just the power of having a grade book, like
Yep.
carrying a grade book, and it so ridiculous, so very ridiculous. But it was just this thing that I needed to
Yeah.
do. And yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was. It was a trust thing. It was a confidence thing. It was all the things that had nothing to do with me saving time.
Exactly.
That's really funny. I'm glad you brought that up. That's hilarious. Um, yeah, I mean, I think bookkeeping is one of those modules. We're the only CRM that has bookkeeping. And there's a reason for it because it's a pain in the butt on our side, technically. But it's such a good value add. And every time we talk about features and goods and bads and whatever whatnot, and which ones are 70 hats as a business as well, right? So which
Mhm.
features are people coming in for, which features are possibly costing us money, and
Yeah.
bookkeeping's one of those because there's a lot of connectors and a lot of tech work, and banks are constantly changing things and whatever, whatnot. And so it actually cost us money, right? Um, but when we look at pulling it out, we're always like, no, we can't.
Yeah.
Like, we'd rather lose a little bit of the money to provide for our members, because it is a huge feature. And if you're with the local bank or a good bank that connects well, it is amazing. It
Yeah.
truly is a game changer. And we're okay fronting that bill a little bit because we truly do believe in it, and
Yeah.
it can be such a game changer for businesses. So I love that you're using the
Definitely for
bookkeeping
me.
module.
I had to go see my tax man today, and he could see the progression.
Yeah.
I was like, see, I'm getting better. Every year I'm getting better. He's like, yeah. It's like it just got easier. Like he spent a little bit of time on one year and it's like, oh, here we go again. But now she's doing it. So I
That's
still
awesome.
think I need help, but at least I'm doing my part. I'm
I
doing what
love
I
it.
can. Yeah.
I mean, I take away, we're wrapping up to getting close to our 20 minutes here, but I take away from this conversation is that, time is a good thing. Time allows you to transform and time allows you to move and to grow. When you look back over the last 10 years, like what is a big lesson that just 17 hats, not 17 hats, it doesn't matter, just in business, you know, what is a lesson that you've learned over the past 10 years? If you could have told yourself way back in the day,
Hmm.
what would that be?
I would say a big lesson I learned is to um, live life. Definitely,
Love that.
life is not promised. So and I learned that from my aunt. I also learned it from my mother, which passed. She passed last year,
So sorry.
and both of them. When I retire, I'm going to do this. When I retire, I'm going to do this. When I retire, I'm going to do this. And both of them passed within a year of their retirement. So
Oh,
live life, because you can't wait for retirement or,
no.
things like that. You have to enjoy life while it's here.
I love that. I love that. I want to talk a little bit about mindset before we leave. And this is something I bring it up on everyone so far, is that I think mindset plays a huge role in business success.
Mhm.
Um, what can you comment on that or bring some clarity to that about mindset and your mindset to get to make it 10 years, like 11 years for you? You beat the statistics. Most people burn out at 3, 5, and 10 years. You're past that. You've beat
Yeah,
that. You've beat the odds.
yeah,
I think that comes a lot with mindset.
yeah. For me, it's find the things in your business that you love, and you do that. The things that get on your nerves, the things that you don't like, find somebody else to do it,
I love
and
that.
make them part of your team, because that's what keeps me doing it. I found out very early I don't like weddings, so I
There
don't
you
do a
go.
lot of them. I
Yeah.
enjoy corporate events. I enjoy trade shows and galas, but I just don't really enjoy doing weddings. So I wouldn't be doing this business anymore if I was still, focusing on getting wedding clients. That wouldn't be a
It
joy
wouldn't
for
be
me.
you.
No, no. And so just also share. Do not be a gatekeeper. Share information. You never know what someone can learn from you and what you can
Yeah.
learn in return from them. And, what's for you is for you. Don't think
Yeah.
that you're going to miss out on anything, because your blessings are your blessings. And by
Absolutely.
being a blessing to other, God will bless you.
I love that. Thank you so
You're welcome.
much for coming on and sharing your journey with us.
Well, I can't wait for 10 more.
I am stoked. I am really looking forward to just this next year. We have so many big things happening. So, but thank you so much for
You're
coming in and
welcome.
sharing your journey with us. If anybody wants to learn more about you, follow you on Instagram or social media, where can they find you?
So we are focusandfabulous.com, and you can find this on Instagram at FFphotobooth13.
Amazing. Thank you again so much. And for everybody else, until next time.